Duryodhana. Yeah, Duryodhana. Yeah, not Duryodhana. Yeah.
Right.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Pavrikacharya Satara Sadashi Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nishananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Jai Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Gaurani Ki Jai Brindavan Dham Ki Jai Mai Pranavadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So, we're beginning a new chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam today. It's chapter 75, Duryodhana humiliated. There's a chapter summary here, but I'm just going to summarize the summary because there's a lot of commentary to read. This chapter is 40 verses long, and it's really divided into two parts. The first part of the chapter is the conclusion of the Rajasuya sacrifice. It really shows kind of sort of the revelry after the sacrifice was completed, and then the Yudhisthira bidding farewell to everyone after the sacrifice. And the last 10 verses only deal with Duryodhana being humiliated when he falls into water in the great palace at Indraprastha. Now, that story is actually a flashback because the questions that we'll be hearing from verses 1 and 2 here are, why was he so angry? I mean, it was bad that, Shishupal had his head cut off, but he really was obnoxious and offensive. But Duryodhana was angry not just because of Shishupal having his head removed, but he was angry also because he had been so humiliated before. So we get to that part of the story, which is actually the name of the chapter, only when we get to verse number 31. The first 30 verses, the first two of the question. After these two verses we'll do today, it deals with the sort of the party after the sacrifice. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Canto 10, chapter 75, verses 1 and 2. We'll chant number 1. Shri Rajovacha Ajata Shatrus Tam Drishtva Rajasuya Mahodayam Sarve Mamudire Brahma Nirdevaye Samagata Ajata Shatrastam Drishtva Rajasuya Mahodayam Sarve Mamudire Brahman Nirdevaye Samagata Ajata Shatros Tam Drishtva Rajasuya Mahodayam Sarve Mamudire Brahman Nirdevaye Samagata Nitya Drishtva Rajasuya Mahodaya Namude Brahma Nirdeva Samavita Ajata Shatras Tam Drishtva Rajasuya Mahodayan Sarve Mamudire Brahman Nirdeva Ye Samagata. Anyone else? Ajata Shatras Tam Drishtva Rajasuya Mahodayan Sarve Mamudire Brahman Nirdeva Samagata. Okay. Duryodhanam Varajitva Rajana Samsharesura Iti Shrutam no Bhagavans Tatra Karanam Uchyatam. Word for word. Sri Raja Uvacha. The king Parikshit said, Ajata Shatra of Yudhisthira, whose enemy was never born. Tam, that, Drishtva, seeing, Rajasuya, of the Rajasuya sacrifice. Maha, great. Udayam, the festiveness. Sarve, all. Mumudire, were delighted. Brahman, O Brahmana Shukadev. Nirdeva, the kings. Yea, who? Samagata, assembled. Duryodhanam, Duryodhana. Varjayatva, accepting. Rajana, kings. Sa, together with Rishaya, sages, Sura, and demigods, Iti, thus, Shrutam, heard, Na, by us, Bhagavan, my Lord, Tatra, for that, Karanam, the reason, Uchyatam, please speak. It's interesting here that you have Bhagavan being used to address Shukadeva Goswami. Parikshit Maharaj addresses him thus. Okay, translation. Maharaj Parikshit said, O Brahmana, according to what I have heard from you, all the assembled kings, sages, and demigods were delighted to see the wonderful festivities of King Ajatashatru's Rajasuya sacrifice, with the sole exception of Duryodhana. Please tell me why this was so, my lord. Please repeat. Maharaj Parikshit said, O Brahmana, according to what I have heard from you, all the assembled kings, sages, and demigods were delighted to see the wonderful festivities of King Ajatashatru's Rajasuya sacrifice, with the sole exception of Duryodhana. Please tell me why this was so, my lord. And Yudhisthira is being addressed here as Ajatashatru, which is that person who has no enemies, which is the opposite of Duryodhana, who has plenty of enemies. No comments by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, but I will read the tikas of the Acharyas. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, the 75th chapter describes the details of the sacrifice. After the sacrifice, Yudhisthira took Avabrita bath with Draupadi. Duryodhana, being the object of joking, became offended and angry. Having heard from you that everyone except Duryodhana was pleased, please tell me the reason. Shukadeva Goswami already mentioned that Duryodhana was envious. Yo na sehe shriyam spritam. That's from last chapter 1074-53. That is one reason he was not pleased. Shukadeva wanted to describe another reason as it arose in his mind, which had not been previously described. He describes the supplementary part of the sacrifice now, looking backwards, so to speak, since he already described the completion of the sacrifice and departure of the guests. Jiva Goswami writes, though it was already explained that the cause of Duryodhana's agitation was his sin, he asks again, wanting to know the details while describing the sacrifice. Yudhisthira did not hate Duryodhana. The cause of Duryodhana's hatred was that he thought the throne belonged to him. Parikshit had heard this from the mouth of the Lord through Parampara. And Sanatana Goswami writes, though it was already explained that the cause of Duryodhana's agitation was his sin, he asks again, wanting to know the details while confirming what was said. Yudhisthira did not hate Duryodhana. Seeing the excellence, wealth, and or festivity of the sacrifice, which was extraordinary, all the other kings who had gathered were joyful. O Brahmana, directly the Lord, you understand this. Duryodhana alone was not happy. This has been heard by us, omniscient Shukadeva, Bhagavan. you know how to explain this. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastai Buddhale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvasesa Shunyavadi Prasthachadeshtarni Panchakalpa Tarubhis Chakripa Sundabhiya Vichapatitanam Pavanavyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These two chapters, 74 and 75, are, in a very real sense, a study of the divine and demoniac natures. We have Yudhisthira, who has the divine qualities of a pure devotee. He's non-envious. He has no desire really for his position other than the fact that he wants to do it as service for the Lord. He doesn't seek material sense gratification, although as a king he's surrounded by opulence. On the other hand, you have Duryodhana, who thinks that the throne should be his, who wants to have material power because that gives him a sense of being strong, and who wants to enjoy material sense gratification. And he wants to be without, and in the material world, everyone's competitive, so he wants to be the Lord and master of everything. And we see the dispute between the saintly Pandavas and the Kurus. And the Kurus, headed by Duryodhana, are greatly sinful. Especially Duryodhana is sinful, as it's stated in the previous chapter, verse number 53. I'll just read the English. All were satisfied except sinful Duryodhana, the personification of the age of quarrel. That means he's the personification of Kali. And the disease of the Kuru dynasty. He could not bear to see the flourishing opulence of the son of Pandu. So, led by the sinful nature of Duryodhana and facilitated by the blind and weak Dhritarashtra, the Kurus are hurtling towards a disastrous end because they're engaged in offending pure devotees. But this chapter actually is meant to give us an understanding about the wonderful nature of the spiritual consciousness and of the spiritual world, because in a sense right here, although it's on the material, it seems to be in the material world, the interactions between Yudhisthira, the Pandavas, and all the saintly persons at the sacrifice is on a platform above the material sense gratification. And you'll see that Prabhupada will actually make some comments about the verses that will come later in the chapter about how the personalities engaged in these festivities are all pure. They have pure motives and pure understanding. Unlike the sinful Duryodhana, who just stormed out of the whole place angry. So he's stewing in his own juices, as it's be stated. So when we look at material consciousness versus spiritual consciousness, we come up with. Let me look at this here. I have it over here. Yes. That material consciousness, the root of material consciousness is envy. Everyone in this material world who is engaged in trying to become happy by accumulating wealth and opulence and sense pleasure is covered by enviousness. I read a quote recently. I can't remember who it was. It was one of these philosophers from a long time ago, but it stated that our desire to become wealthy and prosperous means that we are automatically forcing others to be impoverished. And that's true. You know, we have all these wonderful things in the material world that the rich and the fortunate enjoy, and they enjoy it by pushing down the unfortunate. You know, everybody wants a big house and a nice car and a beautiful setting, but you know that all those things come at the price of someone who lives next to a refinery or works in a coal mine or does something horrible so that we can enjoy something nice. And that's the nature of the material world. Someone wins and someone loses. And the idea in the material world ultimately is to dominate everything. And this is what the modern material scientists actually want to do. And Prabhupada makes a statement about this dominating mentality. It's actually in a purport in the 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and this purport is part of a verse dealing with Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj, as we know, he didn't begin with pure motives. In fact, he did want to dominate. After seeing that he was rejected by his father, and hearing from his mother that in order to get what he wants, he has to go to the forest and find God. But he wants to find God what for? He wants to find God to get a bigger kingdom than his father. In fact, he wants to get a bigger kingdom than Brahma. He's really, really eager to dominate because he has a material motive. He wants to defeat that person who put him into distress. And that's natural for a person who's in the material consciousness. But fortunately for him, he was able to take good association from Narada, and he had the darshan of the Supreme Lord. So he ultimately realized that this material sense gratification that he wanted was really insignificant and couldn't give him happiness. Because the happiness we get in the material world is, as stated so many times, limited, temporary. And it's ultimately illusory. Think about the pig. He thinks it's, wallowing in mud and stool and living a filthy life. That's quite all right. But for us, with a different set of senses and a higher level of consciousness, it's revolting. Therefore, we can see the relative nature of material happiness. It's this relative nature of material happiness and the desire of those who are wanting to dominate nature that is so destructive and dangerous. And it is the consciousness of Duryodhana. Prabhupada writes in the purport, sense gratification means domination over material nature. The whole competition between the conditioned souls is based upon domination of this material nature. Why do we want to dominate? Here's what Prabhupada says. Modern scientists are proud of their knowledge because they are discovering new methods to dominate the laws of material nature. They think that this is advancement of human civilization. The more they can dominate material laws, the more advanced they think they are. So we try to dominate material nature, and we build these machines that make us go faster, and we build these machines that make us smarter, supposedly. And we build these machines that enable us to communicate and travel and do all these things. And, Mother Nature bites back. Climate change, destruction of the environment, so many things. We think that we can dominate material nature, But ultimately, material nature dominates us. And in fact, we never actually do dominate. We just think that we have a little illusory control. But because the materialists have no faith in Krishna, let's look at Duryodhana now, have no faith in Krishna. And in fact, they're envious of Krishna. We see that in the case of Duryodhana. They think that they must somehow become so powerful that they can figure it out and do it themselves. And this is the demoniac nature. 16th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. I'm not going to read the verses because it won't be time, but it describes step by step by step this demoniac nature and how it is that it requires those persons in this consciousness to become like Hiranyakashipu. Maybe not quite that good because he was really on top of it. He had complete domination. He even knew he couldn't die under so many circumstances. He controlled the whole universe. The demigods were serving him. It's even described that Narada Muni was serving him. I mean, everybody was under his thumb. But ultimately, he was under the thumb of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nrsimhadev. Very sharp thumb. Part of the sharp claws of the Lord. So we can understand that this desire to control and to be, to actually have this domination of nature, this is the demoniac mentality. People are enemies. I have to destroy them. I seek revenge. I'm ruthless. This is Duryodhana. This is the description of him. And over again, he tries to somehow or another put down the Pandavas. Even in the point where here we are in Indraprastha. And Indraprastha, actually, you know, what happened was after the gambling match, Dhritarashtra started feeling bad. He said, you know, this is really awful. And he told Duryodhana, I'm going to divide the kingdom in half and give the Pandavas half of it. But of course, he gave them the half that was no good. Kandavaprastha. It was simply like a wasteland. But through, and it's a long story, through along different activities, they ended up having a beautiful place, more beautiful than Hastinapur, Indraprastha. And actually, the name means the city of Indra. It was like the heavenly planets. And it even had that palace with the tricky floors that ultimately got Duryodhana very, very embarrassed. And he was laughed at by everybody. Oh, what an awful thing that was for him. For a person who is proud, he couldn't take the joke. So, material pleasure is based on envy. If I'm happy, if you're happy, I'm unhappy, and if you are unhappy, I'm happy. There's a German word for that called Schadenfreude, which means I really delight in seeing you suffer. The Germans have these great words. One word describes the whole thing. And spiritual pleasure, it's free from envy. The devotees, you know, want to see other devotees happy. So that we have what, instead of material competitiveness, Prabhupada encouraged spiritual competitiveness. And what is that spiritual competitiveness? It means that we're trying somehow or other to serve Krishna better. Not to serve Krishna better so I put someone else down, but to serve Krishna better so that he's more happy. We all know that there is competitiveness amongst the gopis. Radharani's camp versus Chandravali's camp. And of course, we read a lot of pastimes about Srimati Radhika and her Sakhis and how they try to please Krishna. And they please Krishna by being contrary, by playing tricks and games, and putting Krishna into, quote, distress sometimes, which Krishna loves because it's this fun. Everything is fun in the spiritual world. Even being put into distress is a source of bliss. Hard to understand that in the material world. But, and Chandravali's side, they just want to please Krishna. In other words, Chandravali looks at what Radharani and her team does and go, oh my God, they're offending Krishna. And they think to just try to please Krishna all the time and be submissive, it's the right thing. And it is the right thing. It is. But it's not quite as nice for Krishna as being teased. And we see that with the queens too. Rukmini, Queen Rukmini, who is the chief queen, she's actually an expansion of Chandravali. And the next queen, Satyabhama, she's actually an expansion of Radharani. So they switched roles here. Number one and number two switch. And what is Rukmini like? If she hears anything, that disturbs her, she's just like, oh, Krishna, Krishna, please, don't say that. But Satyabhama is kind of like, okay, let's get in the chariot. And we're gonna finish off Bhaumasura right now. And she's like egging Krishna on, go. And she also wants the parijata flower, and she henpecks Krishna until he takes the whole tree, and gets in a big fight with Indra. And these are all wonderful pastimes in the spiritual nature. And it is not a source of competitive anger and envy. And this is what Krishna consciousness is. It is an escape from this envy and this competitiveness in the material world to the safety of Krishna's shelter. It really means we have to take shelter of our Gurudev, who leads us to take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, and Sri Sri Radha Golokananda, because we can't have this mood of spiritual competitiveness as long as we feel ourselves threatened. In the material world, basically everyone feels threatened at some level by the government, by my enemies, by my competitive businesses. I mean, it's, everybody's on edge. And everybody's on edge, and because they're on edge and they're not Krishna conscious, they take the edge off with intoxication or illicit sex. It takes that edge of anxiety off. But those things just lead to greater anxiety. So it is surrender to Krishna that allows us to actually have this carefree mood and loving mood and sharing in the bliss of serving the Lord, rather than the competitiveness between one person and another. I have to be, as Prabhupada said, the goal in the material world is to become the topmost headman. What does that mean? Well, it means that you're a target for everyone else who wants to be the next topmost headman. Look at the politics today. Every politician's has a bullseye in his back for someone to shoot them and to take, I don't mean literally shoot them, but to knock them down and take their position. I thought it'd be nice to end with some quotes from Prabhupada giving classes about the nature of spiritual happiness. And coming from Srimad Bhagavatam classes that he gives. The first one is we have to wait for this to come. Okay. The first one is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, and this is verse number 26. I have to get there. Oh, here we are. This is from Bombay, Mumbai now, and it's from 1974. The Brahman realization is Sat realization. Paramatma realization is Chit realization, and Bhagavan realization means Ananda realization, Sat Chit Ananda. And in the Vedanta Sutra it is said that the absolute truth is Anandamayo Vyasat. That means the origin of complete pleasure. Anandamaya, he's always Anandamaya. You will read Krishna's Leela. He's always full of transcendental bliss, especially in Vrindavan. Vrindavan, that is his original residence. There, simply Ananda. Krishna is playing with his cowherd boyfriends. Krishna is dancing with the gopis. Krishna is stealing Mother Yashoda's butter. Krishna is doing all Ananda, transcendental bliss. There's nothing like this in the material world. If someone steals your butter, you call the police because you lost something you can't replace, and you're angry at the person that did it. But in the spiritual world, when Krishna does it, it's a source of transcendental bliss, and that bliss goes on forever. I don't know how that even exists because I'm in the material world, but it gets better and better at every moment, forever. How is that? We'll find out. And next is a quote from Canto 5, Chapter 5, verse number 18. This is in a class in Vrindavan in 1976. The devotees of Vrindavan, they are all individuals. The gopis are individuals. The cowherd boys are individuals. The calves are individuals. The cows are individuals. Everyone is individual. But the purpose is how to love Krishna. That is formless. There is no disagreement in that purpose. The gopis are trying to satisfy Krishna. The cowherd boys are trying to satisfy Krishna. Mother Yashoda is trying to satisfy Krishna. Nanda Maharaj is trying to satisfy Krishna. The whole center is how to satisfy Krishna. That oneness is required. Not that I become one with Krishna. That is not possible. So, again, Prabhupada is saying, the Mayavadis, they want to become one with Krishna. What is this one with Krishna? Well, the one with Krishna is to serve Krishna. No envy, no competition. Oh, you're better than me. No, we're all trying to serve Krishna. Let's join the same team and serve Krishna. Last verse I'll quote here is 6:2:14. This is the class from Vrindavan, 1975. They can simply understand Aham Brahmasmi. I'm not this body. I'm not matter. I am a spirit. But that much understanding will not help. This is the Mayavadi understanding. It may be helpful for some, but because he is bereft of Ananda, he will fall down. Arurya Krichena Param Padam Padam Padatyado Nadrata Yuzma Anangriya. Ananda, this means that every step in the material world is full of anxiety. Ananda you cannot get without being a servant of the Supreme Lord. Surrender to the Supreme Lord. I'm not going to be the controller. I'm not going to dominate. That is Ananda. That is Vrindavan. There is father, mother, playmates, everyone. But Krishna is the center. That is Ananda. And if you make Krishna minus, there is no Ananda. You may be Brahman realized. You may be seeing Paramatma, but there is no Ananda. And even more so for the materialist. There is no Ananda. There is simply some temporary joy. My team wins, or I win the election. But the next day, I'm the same old anxiety-filled, unhappy person. Because this world is Tukalayam Ashastvatam. It's temporary, and it's misery. And sometimes the misery lasts for a long time, because, well, it always does last for a long time, because we're here for birth after birth after birth. But when we get out of time, when we actually engage in Krishna consciousness, we lift ourselves out of material time and we enter into the spiritual realm. And that's done simply as Prabhupada stood under a tree and chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And everything that we see in Krishna consciousness manifested from that original desire to give everyone the holy name. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Kanvan
Rama. Utanagatana Kaitabashatana Jaya Dasarati Rama Gatana Kaitabashatana Jaya Dasarati Rama Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bara Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bara Ravanantakara Makana Taskara Gopi Jana Vastrahari Rajendra Kala Gopa Vrindapala Chita Hari Bamsidari Yogendra Bandana Srinanda Nandana Braja Jana Bayahari Yogendra Bandana Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohana Vamshi Bihari Yashoda Nandana Kamsani Sudana Nikundara Savilasi Gadamba Kanana Rasaparayana Vrindavi Pina Nivasi Ananda Vardana Prema Niketana Ula Shara Jojaka Kama Ananda Vardana Prema Niketana Ula Shara Jojaka Gana Gana Chita Vinodana Samasta Guna Gana Dama Shamuna Jivana Kevitarayana Manasa Chandra Chakora Shamuna Jivana Kevitarayana Rakavachana Manamora. Namasuda Rasa Goa Krishna Jasha Rakavachana Manamora. Vivavari Shesha Aloka Prodesha Nidra Chari Utajiva. Vivavari Shesha Aloka Polo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva. Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Shri Vrindavan Jaya Shri Vrindavan. Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada. The night has come to an end, and the light of dawn is entering. O Jiva soul, arise, give up your sleep, chant the holy names of Lord Hari, giver of liberation, enemy of demon Mura, supreme enjoyer, all attractive in Hari Griva, the horse-headed incarnation, Nashringa, half man, half lion incarnation, Vamana, dwarf Brahman incarnation, killer of demon Madhu, beloved son of Vraja's ruler, beautifully dark complexioned, slayer of witch Putana, destroyer of demon Kaitava, and victorious son of Dasarath, Lord Ram, darling of Yasoda, giver of pleasure to cows, land, and spiritual senses, cow protector, Lord of Vrindavan, the gopis' beloved, lover of Radhika, and most beautiful in all the worlds, cause of demon Ravana's demise as Lord Ram, butter thief, robber of the gopi girls' clothes, young herdsman of Braja, protector of the other coward boys, thief of hearts and flute carrier, worshipped by the best of the yogis, Nanda's joy, remover of all fears for the people of Braja, colored like a fresh rain cloud, enchanting in form and charming while wandering and playing a flute. Yasoda's joy, vanquisher of demon king Kamsa, enjoyer of the rasa dance among the forest groves, and especially under the Katamba trees, and resident of the woods of Vrinda, increasing the ecstasy of his devotees, reservoir of all love, the transcendental Cupid who uses his flowered arrows to increase the loving desires of the gopis, the pleasure of the hearts of all coward women and men, and the abode of all wonderful qualities. The life of the Jamuna River, always absorbed in amorous pastimes, and moon of the mind, which is like the moonlight-feeding chikora bird, heed my words, O mind. These holy names are full of nectarian wells. Therefore, sing the glories of Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki.
Arjunam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Atrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kribayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nainam Gadashu Daraya Vadanam Gadgadurudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamritam Anastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatulam Pato Mat Pranatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render